You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about Napheesa Collier. She was on ESPN First Take, and I'll be the first to tell you, I think this question from ESPN is ludicrous, and it's a loaded question. All right, so they did set her up, and I don't like the question at all. They knew this question would get clicks and get people talking. All right, and she didn't give the most horrible answer in the world, but it's still not the answer I think players in this league need to be giving. All right, and it also still does not acknowledge the elephant in the room from these other players. They refuse to acknowledge it. And that's the fact that other teams in the league do not draw ratings. All right, and it's weird. It's ego, it is jealousy, and it's pettiness. And half of her answer works. The other half doesn't work. All right? And some people are saying, well, I thought she answered it real well. Well, she answered it halfway well. All right? The national TV broadcast, and I've never seen a league so put off and old fans of this league so put off because a television schedule came out. But it's jealousy, and it's hatred, and it's all these other things. Look, when they get mad at you because you send well wishes to Juju Watkins, there's a certain section of the WNBA fan base that will forever not like Caitlin Clark. I'm pretty sure we proved that to be 100% factual yesterday afternoon with that video. The national TV broadcast schedule for the 2025 WNBA regular season was announced on March 20, and it conveyed that 41 out of the Indiana Fever's 44 2025 regular season games would be broadcast on national television. According to the Fever's March 20th press release, with all but 3 games airing nationally, the total marks a franchise high for most TV games, as well as the most for a single team in WNBA history. Fever fans are feeling great about this historic announcement. However, other fans around the league have expressed contempt about the Fever getting more nationally televised games than other teams, particularly defending champion New York Liberty, who have 32 national games, and the Las Vegas Aces, who have 33. That's not exactly sidelining these teams now, is it? Honestly, seriously. Napheesa Collier, star forward for the Minnesota Lynx, who have 21 nationally televised games, made a March 24 appearance on ESPN's First Take, and at one point she got to be honest about the Fever's broadcast supremacy. So let's just scroll down. I still hate the question, and she answers it halfway right, like I said, but the rest of it just it gets out of hand. By the way, I mean, do you want these people in the league to see any of your players? Your best player, it is your moneymaker. And these players still don't get that, I don't think.
So Caitlin Clark obviously has been a hot button topic on the show and took the WNBA by storm last year. Now her team is going to have 41 of their 44 games nationally televised, while the reigning champs, the Liberty, only have 32. Was this a fair move by the W?
I think it's two things. I mean, obviously people want to watch Caitlin play, and so you have to put the people on TV that people want to see. But at the same time, like, there's stars all over the league, and you want good basketball as well. Obviously, Indiana, especially like with their free agents, they're gonna be a great team. But to not have the defending champs on TV more, I think it's kind of crazy. I mean, it doesn't have to be where you're taking games away from Indiana, but I think you can raise the level of TV games for the other teams as well.
Why is that an issue? I asked this question respectfully, Napheesa, because I remember in the 80s, for example, when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird took the NBA by storm and they were winning championships, competing for championships, but then this dude named Michael Jordan came along. And Michael Jordan came along and he wasn't yet winning championships, but his popularity was so astronomical that the NBA practically marketed everything they could around this guy. So to know that there's an example like that as a shining example to be followed that could benefit the league, particularly down the road, why is that an issue when we've seen that such a marketing plan has worked in the past?
I don't think it's an issue. I do think Caitlin's a star. And like I said, people want to see her, and we are trying to grow the league. Like, you need to put on TV the players that people want to see. But kind of what I said before, I don't think raising the level of the other teams has to mean bringing down Caitlin or the Indiana Fever. They should have those amount of games on TV on primetime, but I think other teams should also have more than what they have.
Okay, well, you can't have it both ways. And that in itself is the problem with the answer. She's trying to cover her tail, all right? She's trying to cover her tail with this answer, and she does a decent job, but you can tell, even in her face when she answers the question, there's still animosity there for some reason. I don't get it, and maybe she was trying to collect her thoughts because she was like, I don't want people to come at me on the internet. Okay, that's great, but you're a professional basketball player, professional athlete. People are going to come at you anyway, regardless. Okay, that's part of the job description. All right, I don't hate her answer, except it is still failing to acknowledge the elephant in the room, which is it doesn't matter if the Liberty or the Aces are playing. They don't draw ratings during the regular season. They don't. And even in the playoffs, comparatively speaking to the Fever, it's still, 45% of the ratings that the Indiana Fever were getting. And there still feels like some kind of, I don't know if it's necessarily animosity. She fully acknowledges what Caitlin is doing in the league, and that's great. That's a great part of the answer. But it's not really, well, we still need to showcase these other players. Okay, but if you're making your money off the media rights deal, and that is how all professional teams and these players get their salaries, is the media rights deals. That's where the money is. Attendance, parking, concessions, merch, that's all a side note compared to TV money and TV revenue. My question literally would be, or my answer would be, well, we would like to know why she didn't get 44 out of 44 games nationally televised. Because that's what's going to generate the most money for us on the media rights deal, right? And the ratings, because you still have to drive ratings because you get a media rights deal, but if the ratings aren't there, what do the advertisers do? It starts becoming very hard to sell advertising, which is going to affect the next media rights deal that happens whenever, 5 years from now or whenever it comes back up. So it does matter. I don't know. There seems to be always something. And the failing to acknowledge these players have got to push all their ego aside and finally come to grips and get down to the root cause of why isn't anybody else watching the other players in this league? And I can tell you right now, a lot of it is their attitudes. Plain and simple. Their mouths on social media and their attitudes. And people are like, I'm not supporting that. Okay? I'm just not. If you're going to act that way and we want to watch professional basketball and athletes that act professional, but you get out of sorts and act like an activist and all this other thing and say hateful rhetoric, people are not tuning in to support you. And that is the part of the WNBA they fail to acknowledge and deal with, by the way. It's something that if Adam Silver had any balls at all, because really it's him, not Kathy. He would get involved and be like, we're done with any kind of rhetoric. This league has never turned a profit. Stop it. You're killing it. You've killed your league for 27 years. I don't know. I don't know what you do. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.